what's up everybody? Brooke here. I hope you're all having an awesome day. So in today's video, I'm gonna do something a little different. I'm just literally giving you a quick overview of the Light phone. Now, I do have a comprehensive video about the Light phone. I do a full in-depth review. I will leave it somewhere along here, wherever it pops up. But I did post something on Instagram today, and this was in the background, and I got like 15 messages about what the heck this was. So I'm going to do a quick, layman's terms, conversational type of review, just talking about what the Light phone is and what it is not. I've also had a couple shorts on this device, and I've gotten questions. So I just wanted to kind of do a quick video, just throwing it out there for anyone that is looking to use the Light phone, to switch to the Light phone, or looking for something that they can use in tandem with their smartphone device to help limit their smartphone use. So with that said, let me just say what the Light phone is. Quick background, I've been using this since 2020. I did use this as my daily driver for a long time, and then because of my job, I decided to get an iPhone. I am actually using that iPhone currently still in tandem with this, but it is on its last legs, and I am switching back to this full time. What this device is, it's a basic cell phone. It is an e-ink screen. As you can see, there's like a little notification bell right there. It tells you the time, it tells you the date. It gets text messages, it gets calls. You're able to, let's go down the menu. So like you have the phone, the alarm, the calculator, the calendar, directions. You have the hotspot, music, notes, podcasts, settings. So you can listen to music with this bad boy. You can set up a hotspot, actually get like GPS directions. I've used this a few times and it actually is pretty accurate. It is slow, it's different, it's an e-ink screen, so it takes a little bit to actually use in the sense of like, the screen moving, but the direction part, like when it tells you the directions, that's like right on time. The calendar app I use often, the calculator I use, especially on my job site, the alarms basic, and the phone, obviously. So again, very basic device. This is so you can stay in touch without feeling, like, you're jumping on your cell phone and now you're lost into the sea of apps that you have, or Reddit threads, or whatever you're into, YouTube, threads, whatever, Twitter, or literally threads that just came out by Instagram. So this is a great device for either limiting your exposure, being able to leave your smartphone at home and get calls on the go, get text messages, use something that's not going to suck more of your time. This is literally just a tool. It's just for calling, text messages, listening to music if you want, but it's very, very basic. It's very simple, and that's what I love about the Light phone. As you can see, it says Light. That's really what I love about it. Another thing that I love about it is that it's an e-ink screen, so I don't have like eye strain like I do when I look at an iPhone, and I really just love that. It's not distracting. I literally use it for the purpose that I need it for, and then I put it back down. So that's something that I really love about it. As you can see, this is a very well-used, loved phone, and I honestly hope they never change it. I hope they never feel pressure to make it become more of a smartphone with like an e-ink screen. But another thing too is that when you get text messages, depending on the plan that you use, that's a whole other topic. I use the Verizon Share plan, and as of right now, like, in order to get a text message to this phone, you need a different number if you're using the Share plan. But if you're getting if you're using this as your regular cell phone, you'll get text messages no problem. It does not get pictures though, and any pictures that are sent to your number get forwarded to an email. You have to set that up on your account online. Super simple. The dashboard could not be more simple, and that's what I do. So when I go check my emails, then I'll see the pictures that were sent to me that show up as like little square boxes with an X in it when I get them on here. But that's it. That's what it is, and it's very simple. Love it. Small, compact, durable. Knock on wood. I hope it doesn't break now, because this is a little bit of an older device. But fantastic, and love it. Love it. Like it a lot. So now what it's not is it's not a smartphone, so you cannot check email, you cannot go on the internet, you cannot look at pictures. There's so many things, right? Like there's so many things that we do. You can't check your banking app. I mean, you can't write emails. There's a lot that this phone doesn't do, and it's not supposed to replace a smartphone. So that's why I tell people all the time, especially when I get text messages like, oh, or like comments like, oh, why would I use that? You know, my smartphone does everything. Well, this isn't a smartphone. It's a basic phone. It's literally just meant as a text and a call device, and with a couple little like extras thrown in there. That's it. There's also a Notes app too. I think I mentioned Notes, but Notes is really cool. It's a new one, and you can like leave audio notes. You can type in notes, whatever. I don't use that too much, but I really do like this. But this is not a smartphone. It's also not something that like you can watch movies on. You can't watch videos. I've gotten that question a lot. People asking if you can watch like YouTube videos and things like that, and you cannot do any of that. It's not for someone that still wants to be plugged in. I mean, there's a couple ways you can use this. Like I mentioned earlier, you can use this in tandem with your smartphone. And for some people who are like, oh, well, why would I use two phones? It's really just for when you're out and about. Like for example, I leave my iPhone home a lot. Most days I leave it home because I am going back to using this full time. So I bring this with me everywhere, and sometimes I'll leave it in my car, I'll leave it at home, and I can still get text messages, I can still get calls to my number. It's not like I'm going out into the world without any way for people to contact me. It's very simple, and when someone calls my phone number, it goes to both phones because I'm using a share program through Verizon. So if I have this phone, I'll answer it. If I have my other phone, I'll answer it. And that's really good. That method's really good for people who want to step back away from their smartphone but not completely let go of it, and still use it, like still be able to use it. Like I was just looking for my phone now. I don't even know where it is. I still use my iPhone because I have to because of my job, but I am finding ways that I can replace my phone. Like the calculator app is awesome on this. It's very basic, but that's all I need as a plumber. I just, if I do the 1.414 or whatever, like the little equations and stuff, it's easy for me to use on this. Another thing is when I first started, I needed a camera because there was a lot of things I didn't know, I wasn't familiar with. I would take pictures of and then send it to my foreman, send it to my journeyman. And now that I'm getting more confident, I'm working by myself, I don't need to do that as much. So I don't have to rely on having a smartphone on me all the time. I'm trying to think. Another thing is, I guess the biggest thing is that it's not a media device, it's not a smartphone, and for a lot of people, it's not a phone that's going to replace their smartphone. But this can really help you gain some of your time back in your day. It is said that more and more people are becoming addicted to their smartphones. Like think about it, when you walk out the door, and this is something that's happened to me a lot, I'll feel for my keys, and then immediately if I can't feel my phone, it's like almost like a panic rush, right? And that's when I really realized a couple of years ago, I was like, because I've always been kind of like not wanting to be attached to my phone like that. I'm just kind of like that. I don't like carrying a device around that could like hear everything or whatever. I just need a little privacy. I remember thinking like, it took me so long to get an iPhone. And then when I got one, I like used it for everything. I always had it on me, this, that, and the third. And when I didn't have it on me, I'd be like frantic. You know what I'm saying? When I started to pull back, I went to a flip phone. I used a Samsung flip phone for a while. And I knew I wanted something different. And when this came on the market, I was like, this is perfect. Because it's such a small phone. It's like the size of like a credit card. I actually have a card right here I can use. Let me try not to, okay. So look at that. It's like literally the size of a credit card. And I have a case on this. So it's so small. Granted, it's thicker, but it's so small. It's freaking awesome. I love it. I keep saying I love it. I'm trying to think of what else it's not. It's not like super cheap, but it's cheap. It's not like extremely durable, but it's pretty durable. You just gotta take care of it. It may not be a good fit for some people. For those of you who are really happy with your smartphone use and you're using like, app controls on your phone, like monitoring controls and things like that, then that works for you. But for people like me, I have to take myself out of situations sometimes. And when I don't give myself like wiggle room, like in the sense of like I just posted a video about drinking coffee, like I can't do that in moderation. I am either one extreme or the other. So same thing with the cell phone. Like that's something that I'm kind of doing in moderation because I'm being forced to, but I go from like, oh, I need my phone all the time to being like, well, I'm getting a light phone. You know what I mean? Like, it's just how I am. It's how I operate. And I think that everyone would benefit from using less, like using their smartphone less. You know what I mean? Getting some time back. People spend like hours and hours and hours. I had a heart attack because my daughter has a cell phone, and both of my daughters have cell phones, and they're very like conscious of what they spend, like how much time they spend on their smartphones. And when I looked, like there were a couple days where, you know, I'm working double time, I'm going to school at night, whatever, like, and they're kind of getting away with being on their phone more. And my one daughter was on it for like 9 hours. And I was like, you have got to be freaking kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. That is like an insane amount of time to be just on your device. Now, granted, you know, there's other variables. You're listening to audiobooks, whatever, that counts towards your time. But it's all about just being more mindful of what you're spending your time on. Like, we all have the same 24 hours, but you'll always notice the same people are complaining about the fact that they don't have enough time to do things. Well, one big reason is because they're probably on their phone. They're probably on social media, which is a total time suck. They're probably watching videos. They're probably doing whatever else on their phone that is just taking up so much time. So the light phone is a wonderful alternative for people who are, you know, obviously still want a cell phone, but they need to stay connected. For people who are still want to use their smart devices, whether it be, you know, I was going to say a Google phone or an iPhone or Samsung Galaxy, whatever other, you know, smartphones are out there. But they sometimes want to step away and still get calls. This would be the device for you. E-ink screen, great for your eyes. It's kind of like reading like a Kindle or a Nook e-reader, like the ones I have from like 2010. But I think it's a really good device for people who are truly just looking to step back. And I think the price point is fair. It's a small company, a very small company. A lot of people are like, oh, this is a joke. And I remember, what's his name? Jerry Rigs Everything. I like him, but he took this apart and he's like, oh, you're getting ripped off and all this other stuff. And it's like, listen, like the components are simple, but it's a small company. Its mission is fantastic. It's very, you know, it's very, what's the word? Like, they're really trying to have their own movement, and they're doing a good job. It's anti-establishment. It's against the man. It's against the big tech companies, and it's privacy. This is not something that you have to accept cookies with every time you go onto a different page. It's not something that you have to accept that they're going to be listening and monitoring text messages, you know, your search engine, whatever. There's not going to be people that are able to buy your data from this phone, other than, you know, if you get hacked for however reason and they want to steal your contacts and text messages. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not as like attractive as, you know, your credit card information or, you know, your pictures or like your life that everybody puts on their phone. Let's get our privacy back. Let's get our time back. And for those of you who are interested, get a light phone, or at least try it out, look more into it, read the reviews, watch the reviews. I'll link my review, and I'll also link a link down below if you're interested, if you want to check it out for yourself. But with that said, I'll let you guys go. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section below, and I'll check you back again on the next video. Take care, friends.